Have you ever felt completely certain about a big decision, a major leap you needed to take, while everyone around you thought you were out of your mind? I'm not talking about choosing coffee. I mean those life-defining moments where the voice inside you is screaming go, but the world is whispering, stop, be reasonable. Today, let's explore one of the oldest and most powerful templates for that exact moment. It's a story you might think you know, the story of Noah. But let's forget the cartoon animals for a minute and see the man. A man living in a world of normalcy, busy with business and life. And into that normalcy, he heard something unconventional. A calling, a vision so absurd it defied all logic. Build a massive boat far from any water, because a flood is coming that will wipe everything away. The first lesson is right here. Faith often starts as a holy disruption. It wasn't a gentle nudge. It was a tectonic shift in his reality. He wasn't a sailor. He was a preacher of righteousness in a society that wasn't listening. So, what is your arc? What is that vision, that project, that change you feel called to build that seems to make no sense given your current weather? Noah's first act of faith wasn't hammering a nail. It was believing the forecast from God when there wasn't a cloud in the sky. So he begins. And here's where we get to the gritty, unglamorous heart of the story. The obedience of the long middle, day after day, week after week, year after year. For decades, his daily routine was, wake up, work on the boat, listen to the ridicule, work on the boat, feel the doubt, work on the boat, question your own sanity, work on the boat. The neighbors didn't just think he was quirky. They mocked him. They ostracized him. Noah's folly, they must have called it, fearmonger. Crazy old man building a monstrosity in his backyard, in fear. Oh, fear was right there with him. Fear of failure, fear of being wrong, fear of wasting his entire life. The storm wasn't the scary part, yet the silence was. The uncertainty was. But here is the transformative truth. Noah didn't wait for the fear to go away to get to work. He built the ark with the fear. He obeyed through the uncertainty. His faith wasn't the absence of fear. It was the direction he chose to walk in despite it. Faith said, build. Fear said, stop. And every day, his blistered hands, the sawdust in his beard, the ache in his back, they were his answer. His obedience was his prayer. What's the long middle you're in right now? The grind where the vision feels distant and the mockery, whether external or internal, is loud. That, right there, is your construction zone. That is where faith is made real, not in the glorious start or the triumphant finish, but in the daily, dogged choice to pick up your tools. Then, the weather changes. The first drops fall. The calling is vindicated. But now, a new, more terrifying phase. The door closes. God tells Noah to come into the ark. And then Scripture says something profound, and the Lord shut him in. Imagine that moment, the final thud. The outside world, all its noise, its ridicule, its options sealed away. Now, it's just the sound of rain on the roof and the creaking of the hull. This is the ultimate point of no return. Sometimes, faith isn't about walking on water. Sometimes, it's about letting go of the dock. It's about allowing the door to close behind you on a former life, a safe career, a toxic relationship, an old identity. The storm outside might be chaotic, but the scariest moment is when you realize you've committed. You're all in. But see what that closed door did. It sealed him into safety. It sealed him into the promise. The very thing that seemed to trap him was what protected him from the chaos that would have destroyed him. His obedience built the ark, but God's hand closed him into grace. Now he's in it. The storm rages. 40 days and nights of torrential downpour. The ark is tossed. The darkness is complete. This was not a joyride. He had obeyed. He was safe. But he was still in the storm. This is critical. Faith over fear doesn't mean a storm-free life. It means unsinkable security in the middle of it. For months, he had no navigation, no GPS, no visibility. All he had was the integrity of the vessel he'd built in obedience, and the promise of the one who told him to build it. Your storm might be financial, medical, or emotional. It shakes you. It disorients you. Faith over fear in this phase is not about pretending you're not scared. It's about knowing, deep in your bones, I am in the place my obedience built. I am where I am supposed to be. Even though this is terrifying, this vessel will hold. You trusted the blueprint in the sunshine. Now, you must trust the builder in the storm. Finally, the rain stops, the waters recede, the ark rests. Noah opens the window and sends out a dove. The first time, it finds nothing. The second time, it returns with an olive leaf, a tiny sign of life. The third time, it doesn't come back. The new world has emerged. And God says, "Come out of the ark." He steps onto muddy, fresh ground. The air is clean. The sky holds a rainbow, a covenant of new beginnings. Look at the arc of this story. From calling, to construction, to commitment, through the chaos, and into a new creation. His faith, forged in obedience over decades, didn't just save his family. It rebooted creation. So, where are you in this story? Are you hearing the holy disruption of a calling? Listen, are you in the long, lonely construction zone? Build. Are you facing the terrifying click of the closing door? Trust. Are you being tossed in the storm, wondering if it will ever end? Hold on. The vessel of obedience is stronger than you know. You are not just building a project. You are building character. You are not just surviving a storm. You are being prepared for a new land. Your obedience in the face of fear isn't just about you. It's about who will find shelter because you built. It's about what new world your courage will help create. So today, choose the blueprint over the noise. Choose the promise over the forecast. Pick up your tools and build. Let your faith be the hammer. Let your obedience be the wood. And let your fearless trust be the thing that builds an ark that will carry you on to others into a future you cannot yet see, but that you have been promised. Thanks for watching. If this message resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. See you next time.